understanding the law clause by clause is one thing, but understanding the philosophy behind the law. Okay, why this law is there on the statute book, that is more important. Because if we understand the philosophy behind the law, then we are internally convinced why we should implement the law with zeal and vigor. So children, they do not have agency, they do not have the capacity to make a decision on their own. There may be a number of factors, psychologically, sociologically, mentally, why children are attracted towards substance abuse. There may be pressure of the studies. It's not only confined to children, but brilliant students also committing suicides inside IITs, even in the academies which are training these students to compete in the joint entrance examinations. So that means the society is progressing in a different direction, where there are tremendous pressure on students to perform. Because at least children may not have the agency, they may not have the capacity, but they understand what is dangerous. I mean, no children will put his hand in the fire. So that means they, to a certain extent, they have the capacity. So, but the substance is distributed by, not by the children, but by the adult grown people. They have their motives, they have commercial motives, they maximize their profits, unmindful of the fact that they are doing incalculable damage to the society. So therefore, as policemen, it is our bounden duty to ensure that we not only prosecute but successfully prosecute. The chairperson was citing the figures, although the methodology to calculate the figures is different, because we have to calculate the percentage out of the decided cases, not out of the total number of cases registered, because we register hundreds of cases in a year, in a month, but only few cases are decided, because trial is a slow process, it's a very gradual process, because when a magistrate or a judge has to punish somebody, he has to arrive at a conclusion beyond reasonable doubt. So that is the reason sometimes the judge, whenever there is a doubt in the minds of the judge, in the mind of a judge, he or she normally prefers to acquit a person rather than convict him. Although in their hearts of hearts, intuitively, they know that this person is guilty, but sometimes we are not able to link the chain, we are not able to complete the chain of evidence which points to the guilt of the accused, that this man and only this man is guilty of this offense. It's a very, very complex process. Sometimes the children do not cooperate, sometimes the parents tell their children not to further say anything on the subject. So there are a number of complications, especially in the children's students. I also agree that though Goa was the pioneer state in bringing out the Children's Act, but the zeal and vigor is absent. Of course, our chairperson is an activist chairperson. He has the zeal of an activist and the courage of a soldier to implement the law. But all of us have to act, and particularly because all of us have children and we all want our children to succeed. Sometimes we put pressure, and we have even approached the schools also. When I was IGP here, we had written to 700 school headmasters and mistresses, principals, whether they discern any trend of substance abuse among children. We also cited certain behavioral changes. In that letter we mentioned how to identify whether a child is addicted to substance or whether there is any change of behavior, whether he is isolated, whether he is quiet. But unfortunately, none of the headmaster or mistress responded to us. So therefore, sometimes we are not able to, or we don't want to take responsibility, we don't want to get into that. Whereas it is our duty to get into that only. We are paid for that. In the school, the children don't only go there for getting education, getting knowledge, skills and attitude, but they are under the care and protection of the teacher. So therefore, if the teacher is negligent, taking care of the children under his or her command, even he is also guilty. That means he is not able to take care of the child. It's not that we should actually hold them guilty, but we need to actually tell the teachers that till the time the child is in the school or college, he is under your care and protection. And you have to see all round development of his personality. You don't have to stuff his brain with information, facts and figures and knowledge, but you have to guide him on towards the career goal in the most relaxed manner, जिसको हम कहते हैं कि सहज अवस्था में। उसको ये बात कह के कि देखिए स्कूल का बच्चा फर्स्ट आया है और आपका बच्चा, हमारी क्लास का भी बच्चा फर्स्ट आना चाहिए। So when this kind of competition, unhealthy competition is created, then the children will start abusing the substance. They will start taking Comax or something which in the initial stage appears innocuous, but once he gets addicted, then the problems start. So therefore, today's program will definitely, particularly for the young sub-inspectors, because they are just at the threshold of their career. So they need to reorient their policing. We are there for catching criminals, dangerous criminals, but at the same time, we have to do social policing also. There are certain segments in the society, because initially you need to understand in 1861 general criminal law was brought up by the Britishers, Indian Penal Code, Indian Evidence Act and Criminal Procedure Code. At that time they were not bothered about they did not want to actually interfere into the social life of the local people. They wanted to have a laissez-faire attitude that we don't want to interfere into the social and cultural life. But gradually, when the complications, because children, when they found that the women, children and other weaker sections of the society are not able to, or they do not have the agency to decide for themselves. It was only after the independence that our planners, our administrators, they decided to bring about this legislation. Juvenile Justice Act, Children's Act, and POCSO Act, many other new legislations. Even IPC was amended, 498A was brought about because women were subjected to harassment, mental and physical harassment. So we need to understand this departure from the general to special law. Why for certain segments this special law was brought about? Because they needed extra attention. General law was not able to tackle the problems which these segments face. Therefore, special laws were brought about. So they need to be given special attention, not the casual attention that we normally tend to give. Is that thereby that we are getting acquittals, we are not able to convict the people, because certainty of punishment is the best prevention. When a criminal is certain that if he commits this crime, he is bound to go to jail, he is bound to get convicted, then the real prevention will come. And that is possible if we do our job in the most professional manner, with an activist's zeal, considering that I have to take this case to logical and I have to collect all the relevant evidence. You have to master the rules of evidence. It is not necessary to cite large number of witnesses. A few witnesses can also take the case to logical evidence. That of course we will discuss in a different session when we pray you for appreciation of evidence. But primarily the relevant, best evidence needs to be put forward. So once you start working in the police station, then you will come to know about the appreciation of evidence.
No, we are conducting camps. The Goa Dental College is conducting camps along with the State Commission, and we have realized that there is a lot of substance abuse and tobacco abuse especially among children and youngsters. So we are not concerned with the legalities of the whole thing, but we are concerned about their health and how we can curb that habit.
So regarding the tobacco, are the shopkeeper is allowed to sell the tobacco for the minor or child below 18?
So that's what I'm saying. We are not concerned with the legalities of the whole thing, because we are not empowered to stop the sale of tobacco or to stop the children from buying the tobacco. We can only bring it to the notice of the children and the people who are the educators that the consumption of tobacco is bad for their health.
So till there is no law that shopkeeper is not supposed to
there
sell
is
the
the
tobacco.
COTPA law. That is why we are doing the training. No? So
there
under
is
provisions of the COTPA, it is illegal to sell to minors. And secondly, there is a 100-yard marking which has to be done outside all the schools. It is under the sections of the COTPA now. This is the COTPA law is not much known, which is why we are having this collaborative training with the Goa police, so that they know, and the officers who are newly inducted can go on the field and enforce the law.
So what is the offence if the shopkeeper sells?
So yeah, so that also requires little tweaking. Like smoking in public places is only 200 rupees fine. Cigarette packet maybe costs little more than that. So laws also require some kind of this. So we have done a pocket manual. We have done the release. I'll just show that.
Ma'am, Satellite Dental Clinic, what services they offer?
We are offering almost all the services that the Goa Dental College is offering, except for specialized services. So the patient can safely go to the satellite clinics, and then if need be, they can be referred to the tertiary center, which is the Goa Dental College.
Ma'am, one more thing, at the dental college, for the reference, the appointment is getting late.
Not anymore, because we have already shifted to the new building. Now we have got enough of chairs, we've got enough of staff. Our students, number is also increased. So slowly, the number of the waiting list number is also going to be decreased.
Now this training program is basically with an intent to create a good ecosystem. Basically, our police officers need to understand what are their roles in whether it's COTPA, whether it's NDPS, whether it is PICA, the new act of e-cigarettes. One intention was, to lay specific focus on e-cigarettes. So, hali ami poila ki, it's becoming a huge concern in the state of Goa. And we have noticed even schools calling us up, even saying 5th standard children are vaping. And sometimes when we just go around, talking to students about vaping, we understand just by show of hands that they have seen a lot of vapes in the school environment. So this is something which less knowledge is there. Act also is recent, and Goa police need to conduct more raids and seize wherever. Even if I go around, even if you Google, you will see a lot of stores being shown there. We have seen showrooms also of vapes in Goa. So openly people are selling and promoting. So general public at large need to understand that there is an act which prohibits all selling or manufacturing or even possession of a vape. So this knowledge needs to go in the minds of general public as well as law enforcement agencies.
So regarding the drugs and all, do you come through any cases of the drugs in the school or high secondary or the college, like you inform any cases? Because there is a rumor like the drugs is sold in the college, high secondary, in the school too. So do you come any cross with that case?
Yeah, so generally large at the addiction centers there are cases, and personally we see a lot of cases being coming up, especially in the school setting. We are trying to address. In fact, we have the Goa State Commission for Protection of Child Right have already established an ecosystem wherein we created clubs in the schools. It's called Prahari clubs, anti-drug clubs. So that is the methodology which we are trying to put, because we don't want to give talk. There should be someone in the school itself, and we have given them how to go about when these issues come up. Goa State Commission also has launched a substance abuse policy, wherein there is a guidance for teachers as well as the school management how to go about when either a student is found consuming drugs or peddling drugs. So how to go about. So even that we have created for the state of Goa.